I think it's people are going on the Spaces live, but we're doing a slightly different format. We're thinking maybe 4 co-hosts now. Kook is going to be joining us as kind of a permanent co-host. We're thinking for the foreseeable future, unless
let's go.
And we're just going to kind of keep it a bit more views-based, a bit more interactive with the audience, less guests. We kind of felt like the guest interviews was really me just interviewing a guest and then OSF eating a sandwich in the background. So we're going to kind of change it up a little bit, have some views on stuff of the week, and we kind of felt like Kook is one of the best people to have that going forward.
Thanks, man.
OSF, unfortunately, is on a flight to LA for the Rekt event today.
Likely story.
So a great first week for him. But it's great to have you, Kook. By the way, we are also on Kick. So go check us out on Kick. All video for the show going forward will be on Kick. We will also be linking the prizes at the end of each show. Remember, we're giving out nearly $5,000 a show to people. So huge show in terms of prizes. If you follow us on Kick and you have signed up to YEET under the Rekt Radio account, we'll pick someone from there. But yeah, Kook, great to have you. We turned you from a regular guest into a bit of a co-host. So great. Yeah, great.
I love it. I'm extremely happy to be here. Thanks for letting me hide behind the cartoon. It's a little awkward with like the body language cues, but I'll figure it out. But no, this is really cool because I used to host the Spaces like peak bear market when there was nothing going on and I just wanted to stay close to crypto. I hosted Spaces every morning for like an hour or two. And I really miss being able to talk about crypto. Like all Spaces were just kind of garbage. And I don't know. I tried to host one focused on crypto and markets. And yeah, you guys are like the goats, right? So you're very smart and like, it's cool. I'm excited to talk about everything regularly. Very cool.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually, we were talking about it in the back. Oh God, that's me. Sorry. We were talking about in the back that we prefer this sort of a show. Like it gets us a bit more talking about the stuff of the week. So I think that's what it's going to be. I think the first stuff really to talk about is kind of what's going on in markets at the moment, which is this Israel-Iran World War III. Will they, won't they? Sort of drama going on. Feels like crypto is just getting nuked, metaphorically, versus everything else. Like macro's not really moving. Gold hasn't really moved. It's just altcoins, which are getting smashed lower. Bitcoin dominance up to 65%. Like, what do you think of all this? Do you think this is just always buy war in crypto?
I'm a permabull, like just by nature. And I'm mostly like just kind of a long only trader. And so, yeah. And I always think war is bullish, just like for a few reasons. The headlines are going to create dips. It's a buying opportunity. They're going to print money, right? Like war means money printing and debasement. And so Bitcoin will go up a lot. Stocks will go up a lot. Time frame uncertain. So I like, for me, it feels like most of the headline risk is over. Like we've probably seen the worst, unless something crazy happens. But in that case, I say just buy the dip anyways. Will I try to like time a short or anything like that? That's not really my style of trading, but I'm optimistic. And I think, again, I'm always biased on this kind of stuff. Like, but FOMC's today, right? Like what, 2 hours or something, and we're going to get a dot plot. And like, there's all this mayhem in the world. So he's got to be dovish, right? Like the press conference is probably going to go well. I don't know. Like I'm not making massive trades around this. I just take entries on stuff I want to own anyways when the headlines create the volatility, which I think the worst is past.
If I'm going on what Trump likes to make a deal, I don't know if it escalates in this period where he's now saying, oh, there could be a deal. Like I feel as though there'll still be like them trading missiles and stuff, but I feel as though you've at least got a period here where probably it doesn't escalate for a few days. And I think it could, we could have a little bit of a rally. You know what I've been doing recently though? I've literally just been going on to Polymarket Eats. This is a bit of alpha actually. I think.
Yeah.
Polymarket Eats morning, and you actually get a much better fucking view about the probability of stuff happening versus not. It's still a 61% chance of US military action against Iran before July. So it's still like kind of in this 50-50 odds. On the comments earlier, it went down to like 48%, but then it's gapped back up. So
wasn't it like 80 yesterday? Did it go down today a bit?
It went to 75, I think, at one stage yesterday. So yeah, this is towards the highs, not at the highs, but like they definitely still feel like something's going to happen, and I think they're evacuating some of the bases. But like even on that headline of bomb gets dropped, do you think it's just like everyone just buys that dip?
I think so, man.
KBM.
One would think so. I don't know. Not to like, I don't know, make light of the issue or anything like that, but like, does it really change much for the global economy if Iran has military action occur in its country? Doesn't really feel like it. I think it's just like a short term, quick headlines, bounce. I don't know who's going to get involved. Is China going to get involved on their side? Highly doubtful.
Iran is 3% of global oil supply, about 10% of its gas, but it all goes to China.
Right, oil can go.
It barely goes anywhere else but China right now. So it really just affects those two. And if they were to like escalate it would really just be if they close that waterway, which is the Strait of Hormuz. I don't think they'd do that because it would just hurt China again. So like I kind of just feel as though I don't think it's going to be this terrible thing where like oil goes to like 120 or
no, it's all bullshit. Just short-term nonsense gyrations.
Yeah. So I think
nothing ever happens.
Yeah. Nothing ever happens, but then it kind of happened this time. I do just think that most people who are even bearish are just like, you're bearish on the headline, and then you're meant to buy the headline. And I feel like quite a lot of de-risking has happened. Like, I don't know. It feels like people have panicked enough about this.
Yeah. I think it's pretty safe to buy. If there's any significant dip, you should be buying it for sure. I mean, like, if it happens on a Friday, though, obviously they have to deal with like low liquidity weekend type shit. Might shake you out, but I think the only trades that are to be had are buying a dip here. It's not really shorting. Shorting doesn't seem like it's the play.
Yeah, James Wynn thinks we're going to 90 to 95. So.
Does he? Wow. Okay, never mind. Then shorting definitely the play.
All you got to do is counter trade James, bro.
Like, Galaxy brain. That guy's a fucking genius. So never.
The Matrix will hunt him every time. Oh my god, this guy! It's so funny.
Did you see?
It's actually insane.
Did you see that tweet thread where they like exposed him for like having the other side of his trades, and then when you got to the end of the expose, it was like he lost 100 million rather than 105 million. Like they were like,
"Oh, yeah, you can have it the other side." Like, is that actually true? I don't think so.
He was back to backing, but it was like. He made like 5 million off the.
You can't hedge 40x fucking paying spreads. Like 40x leverage spread paying isn't like you can't hedge that. The guy's literally just a moron.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've been there. I'm like throwing stones in glass houses, obviously, but like, I can do that. I don't have any walls left, so it doesn't really matter.
We've got to get him on. We've got to get him on. I think.
I don't respond to my DMs. Try to get him a YEET balance. I try to do a lot of that for this.
That's working. That's how we beat the Luck.io. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I do think I've hedged a little bit. I actually saw a tweet that you made earlier this week, Coop, which made me think a lot. And it's a strategy I've been doing for the last month or so. Everyone loves to short Bitcoin and ETH, or like they like to short like these L1s. I just think there are so many better coins to hedge your longs with in crypto. Like there's so many coins that just not rally and go to zero. And you highlighted a really good thing on Hyperliquid, which is just go long Bitcoin and hype, and you can have a view on hype, whatever, but like, and then short the high FDB, low float coins, which are just dumping on you. I've been doing that for the last couple of months, and I've been fucking cooking on this as a strategy. I feel like it's done very well the last couple of months because Bitcoin dominance has gone higher, but is that just not the trade? Like, why even be short Bitcoin? Like, who cares? Like, just be short like SUI, or be short like, I don't know, like some of this other stuff, which is just like 200 million of like token supply each month on the token. There's so many crazy coins like that.
Yeah, I think you got to be crazy to short Bitcoin. I got to find this guy. That's a user vault, like that thing on Hype. That's one of the 50 reasons I'm super bullish on Hype. But yeah, long BTC and Hype, short garbage is the name of the vault. And I think now it's the vault outside of the HLP, like the liquidity provider vault. It's the highest AUM vault on Hyperliquid. But yeah, the guy, I can't now find his name and I forget, but shout out to the guy running it, because when I posted about it, he's in my comments and he's like, ex private equity. He's got big long posts, like updates on. Obviously, this is all like completely unregulated, and he's taking the approach that he wants to take because he's like passionate about it. But I mean, he's running the thing a bit like a hedge fund manager, and he gives these updates on X, and like it's pretty cool. Like, I don't know. I really like the long-term implications of this kind of thing. Sorry?
What's his handle, you know?
I was trying to find it. I'm just scrolling on my Twitter, but yeah, I'll find it. He's
sorry.
Here it is.
Yeah, what's his name? Because I've been thinking about this for a while. What's it?
Keisan_crypto. KEISAN. His display name is keisan.hyperliquid.hl.
Keisan underscore.
Yeah, like he's got 4,000 followers, and he's got a pinned post from January 21st where he like it's a 6-part thread on his valuation framework for Hyperliquid. And so like, I mean, he was right as fuck, so he's a pretty smart guy.
So he's short, to be clear, audience, he's given it, you can see what he's short. He's short Sui, he's short AVAX, he's short Link, he's short Ton, Kaito, Trump, ADA, Alt, Doge, Popcat, SHIB, HBAR. I would actually never short the memes because I just like, I can never judge that. But I've been going through, I did basically the same analysis, and I was like, the ones that look crazy to me, Sui is one, right? Like if you look at the tokenomics of that thing, it's like insane. The other ones that really stood out to me, like Ondo. I don't know if you've seen Ondo, but this thing trades at like 8-9 billion and is an RWA chain, whatever that kind of means. They have some TDL, but I don't know how that trades where it does. And then I was actually short a lot of this story protocol. I don't know if you like remember this thing. It's down like 20% today, but like that was trading at 5 billion. I was like, what is this stuff? But there is.
I had never heard of that. I literally had never heard of that, and I saw a tweet from Cyrus, saying, "Hey, like you should check this, everyone. You might get an airdrop." And like I got $4 grand and instantly dumped it. Had never heard of Story Protocol. Don't know what IP is. Never heard of it again. I don't know how these things have the valuations they have.
But I think it's a really good time to do those shorts, by the way, on those coins, because you've seen over the last couple of weeks, right? Or even the last couple of months, we had that Mantra coin that went to like 0. There was one this week, ZKJ, I think it was the ticker, which dropped 80% on Binance, and everyone was like, "Okay, this is a scam." There's been a couple of other ones like Polyhydra. I don't know if you saw this one. Polyhydra dropped 80%. So these coins, it's down, 80% on the week. It was trading at 2 billion, and now it's trading at 400 million. So these coins, why does it trade where it does? I actually think it's a good time to trade because I think these market makers are getting called out by Binance or by the exchanges a bit more, and they're just like getting out.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. The wheels fell off of this like heavily VC-backed retail TGE dump scam of like vapor tech that's never going to get users or make any money. This is part of the reason I love Hyperliquid so much. I talk about it way too much, but like Hyperliquid is the first fair launched, like totally egalitarian thing since Bitcoin, excluding some memes, I guess. But, you know, there's no VCs to dump on you. There's 38% of the supply that's left to be distributed to the community and users, like however they see fit. I just like the ethos of it. It's a long conversation, but it's the complete antithesis of all these like VC garbage vaporware chains. And that scam used to work like in 2017, 18, and then like it worked again through DeFi. And like, you know, I think it's finally stopping working. I don't think it's going to stop this stuff from coming out, but like, yeah, I don't know. These weird chains pop up and die faster than they used to. I just hate all this stuff.
So touching on that a little bit, because I think that was another topic we wanted to go to, like Hyperliquid just as a trade. It feels as though it's been a great trade, and like it's a very difficult chart to buy into because it's just like you just like, you know, it is just up and to the right, barely any dips. But then this week we saw, and we've seen quite a few different places now announced like perps in the US, like a move almost like decentralized trading. Bybit's launched a DEX or perp DEX. What do you think? Is this the time to like to question it? Or I saw you put a tweet out earlier.
No,
like, it's time to go even more long.
I'm so bullish on Hyperliquid, bro. I might be wrong, but like I don't think so. Like we're gonna see. And so when the airdrop happened, like I wish I mean, I guess they had to start with a perp dex. I'm not going to question like how they built it and how they started, but I did not look at Hyperliquid early, and I remember Wiz was farming it, and like or maybe not even purposely farming it, but he used to use it like even a year ago, year and a half ago, and he put up a P&L card on Twitter here and there. And I don't really trade perps, like, so I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, like another perp dex. Let's see. And I was actually advising for a protocol called Wasabi. They ended up winning like one of the top blast prizes. Like they had a little hype for a while. It was an on-chain perp dex, but there was so much behind Hyperliquid I didn't see and I never looked at. And I ended up my first buy, and I even shout out to Razmir and Frank D Gods, but I was talking to them in a chat around when Hyperliquid came out, and they were like trading perps and stuff. And this is where like sometimes 20 IQ wins, not saying they're necessarily 20 IQ, but they're like, oh, you know, people are going to stop trading memes and just move to Hyperliquid and trade perps. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. And one of them was like, oh yeah, I should just all in it at like $5. And I'm like, I don't know, that's crazy. But I hadn't looked at it, right? I didn't know what it was. And so I started to think about it more and take a really close look at it. Like, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, 4 months ago, whenever the sexes started attacking it, and like Binance and KuCoin, and like they manipulated Jelly, and hype went from like 30 something dollars. I don't know what it was at that day, but like in a day or two, it went down to $14. And because they manipulated Jelly, and they actually had to like roll back the chain or do something weird with the oracles and get all the validators to agree and stuff. Anyways, I was like, wait a second, like if Binance wants to kill this thing so bad, it's got to be really important. And so I just bought like a decent bag and started to like figure it out more. And then where I'm at now is basically this Jeff guy. Like if you look into it, not this Jeff guy, all due respect, the guy's like a god. He's like the living Satoshi of markets or something. Like, but he's got this crazy background, and if you read his really long post, that was another thing that clicked for me. There's been 3 or 4 things, but he's got this long post from a month ago or 6 weeks ago. He talks about transparency in financial markets, and how at every iteration of like the progression of financial markets, people think it's bad and they fight it and whatever. But now like Hyperliquid's goal is to bring everything on chain, fully transparent, real time, and all this stuff. And I don't necessarily have to understand it, but I've always been like a buy management kind of guy. So that strengthened my view of the trade. But anyways, you got this thing that was completely fair launched. It makes more money than everything in crypto. They have 0 VCs by design. They've given all of the tokens that have been distributed to users and community on like a fair basis based on like who did what on the chain. They built the chain, or like the Hyperliquid ecosystem. It's kind of 2 chains, right? But they built it from the inside out. Like all these motherfuckers are out there like Field of Dreams, right? Monad isn't even a real thing. That's stupid. I did a tweet the other day of the Chinese switchboard. That's the Monad community. And then in the middle, you got maybe like a Mega ETH where they have cool tech. No, man, 3 years it's not out. It's crazy. They got a test net, I think, but like it's basically Field of Dreams is the old approach in crypto, where like if you build it, they will come. And so Mega ETH is like, oh yeah, you know, we got the fastest thing and we're focused on builders. And so because our chain is so fast, we're going to get the best stuff built on it. I mean, that's kind of, you look at what Hyperliquid did. They just built the best thing that progressed crypto and markets. And the proof of that is that it makes the most money of anything in crypto. And then from that, they just like.
Do you think Pump Fun has got a shot then? Like,
yeah, I think. Oh, bro, Pump Fun will do a chain, and people are saying 4 billion valuation is crazy. I think that you're crazy if you think 4 billion valuation is crazy. Because, I mean, you know, the guys from one side of the war and the people on that side are smart and clever and, you know, rubbing their hands together and shit. The founder, I don't want to get too racist, but no, it was supposed to be a joke. But no, look, I think that what they will do, and if I was them, and if Alan, you're listening, you should give me some money for this. But
brother,
yeah, they should launch a chain. He won't give it to me because of what I just said. But they should launch a chain and compete with traditional Web2 streaming businesses. They're trying to push their ways into crypto, right? Like Cake's going to do some crypto stuff. Rumble will do crypto stuff. Twitch is the dinosaur that won't do it, and it'll end up being the thing that kills them. But Pump Fun can go eat all their lunch, right? Like they should do a chain and be the crypto native streaming service and get FaZe and all these other clowns. Like I don't watch that form of entertainment, but I don't need to. All the kids are going to watch it.
We chose to do it on Kick, so like this has been a bit of a shift for us to do it on Kick, but we could have done it on Pump. We just kind of felt like Kick was better for now, but they have a shot. I do think they have.
But
a
when
shot.
Pump does a chain, you move it to the Pump chain for sure.
Yeah.
Like if they should do that, and that's Hyperliquids was like they did the streaming and chain first and didn't really talk about it and dropped it overnight, like the equivalent, right? Like they did the massive perp decks. And then they added the spot market, and then they added the EVM, which is like they didn't talk about it. It was just wake up one morning and Hype has Hyper EVM. I love this, bro. Do you know Hyper Unit? Like, you know what this tech is? It's like an ecosystem builder, dude. So on Hyperliquid, it's like completely replaces sex. Like you just send in native Sol, Fartcoin, or ETH. They're gonna add more assets, seamless, instant. It's in your Hyperliquid. You can sell it. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
This is I have seen this. This is I love that tweet the other day where like they took out Iran's oil fields or whatever it was.
Oh man,
these are the things that you can do on Hyperliquid to get back the revenue. All right, so here's a question. Here's a question. Is this a better long than Bitcoin now? You think? Like, because I think right now you've got to assume that this is now going to flip Solana, right?
Well, you've seen the 3 treasury companies already, right? Like 2 of them are one of them's a bit of a joke, one of them's not, and then one of them is big.
This is like an ophthalmologist buying some crypto. It looked like I saw the.
No, there's a new one today. So there was the first guy was Tony G, and he's just some guy that has like a public company on the TSX. Like that's the joke one, right?
The fucking poker player.
Tony G, yeah, Tony G. He's changing his company's name. They already filed for it, and it's going to be called Hyperliquid Strategy. And he bought like whatever. There was a press release last week. He bought some Hype, and he's going to have it staked and everything. And then there's the I company that's doing it. But then there's a big one. Like I just tweeted about it, and they're buying a lot of Hype, dude. Just let me get it right. Yeah, LGHL secures $600 million facility to launch Hyperliquid Treasury. That was today. 2 hours ago.
We got a lot going on with YEET and whatever, but like, should we not be doing this, guys? Should we not just be doing like with a new look Rekt Radio?
Yeah.
We should a publicly listed company on the NASDAQ and just buy random things. Like, feels like we could.
I mean, everyone else is doing it.
Udi and his friends
don't see how this ends well for anyone, but let's find out.
Why do you think
people
are so crazy about this stuff, KBM? Like,
but a bunch of literal morons who don't know what they're doing, stocking their treasury with super volatile assets. You think that's good? It's going to work?
I think it's good for the people
who get rich.
I think it's good for the people who creates it and then sells equity, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're all just going to get rich. Like all these companies are just never going to go down. It's just
I think the people buying the stocks are the people that won't make money, but the people creating the treasuries might. That's basically where I'm at.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Saylor. It took me a long time to understand Saylor's business model. Probably because it's so stupid, but it's also so genius. But like this idea of Bitcoin arbitrage, like he sells $1 billion worth of like fake securities and he buys Bitcoin and he like gets arbitrage in the middle, right? Like if he's selling equity and it's backed by a certain amount of Bitcoin, it's like, but he gets, I don't know, whatever. It's backed by 200 million of Bitcoin and he sells a new tranche of equity for $1 billion. And then he buys $1 billion of equity. Like his contention is that he made $800 million.
Yeah.
Like that's his whole like Bitcoin yield thing, right? It's like an endless flywheel but he kind of did it. Like I agree with KBM, all these other companies, a lot of them will probably go down and it's going to be tons of scams. But like Saylor kind of found the only infinite money glitch.
Like
and the guys
right?
yeah, it's crazy. And these guys like Udi and David Hoffman and stuff, like they're talking about this a lot. They did Kindly MD, like that. I think that was the UK one where they like turned it into a BTC treasury company. They seeded it for $1 million or something, like, or got voting control. I don't know what they did. It was $1 million into 100 million or something crazy.
That David Bailey guy said he put $1 million into Metaplanet, right? He owns 1% of Metaplanet. Metaplanet, it's worth like $100 million. So like, yeah, it does feel slightly. And we were going to talk about this anyway, but like we kind of missed the boat on that. Like we were all stuck in the trenches in Q1, and then everyone kind of thought everything was dead. And what actually just happened is people just made ungodly amounts of money in the public markets with this sort of shit. Like
I made a trade on a couple of them Cantor, I don't hold any of them anymore. Like I hold MicroStrategy just because I like Sailor. But yeah, Kindly I made a little trade, and Cantor I made a little trade. That's Nakamoto. But yeah, I wouldn't hold any of this stuff long term. And I had a really long conversation with Grok about how to do this myself. It's too hard. But
you should do it.
that was the real trade.
Maybe Rekt becomes a publicly listed company, and we put some shit in there. I think the biggest ones, obviously for Bitcoin, there's a bunch of them. There's way more for Bitcoin. For Solana, we actually had them on a different show. DeFi Development Corp have a $5 billion line for Solana, and then you have ones for Hype now, and then you had that one for ETH, but they kind of semi-rugged it. Which kind of shows
Hype makes more sense though. Like that's the only one I can see as a long-term treasury asset other than Bitcoin is Hype. And I'm massively biased. Like, and yeah, what you said about is Hype a better long than Bitcoin? I don't know. Like I still have way more exposure to Bitcoin than Hype, but Hype is my second biggest crypto holding. And there's just, have you seen this HIP3, like Hype Improvement Protocol or whatever?
I want to see this. This is what Iran's going to do.
I don't know that much about it. Like because I don't read stuff, right? Like I just kind of like sparse some tweets and talk to people, I expose myself a bit. But what it is basically is if you buy 1 million Hype and stake it, then you can launch like in a decentralized permissionless fashion, you can launch your own perps market. And I don't know the intricacies of how you do that, but you could like put an asset onto Hyperliquid and you own the market, you've launched it, and you earn like 50% of the fees. And there's controls and safeguards and whatever. These guys are very smart. Like you just have to believe that part when you're talking to me because I can't explain it. But yeah, that's the basic premise is that this will allow an entity or a group or a person who stakes 1 million Hype to launch their own perp market.
You can do this on, so the ways that I've seen this before is there was that asset JLP, which I think me and you spoke about a number of times, but like Jupiter allowed you basically to do, and you basically just put in stables, Solana, Bitcoin, ETH, and you basically got exposure to those, but you've got the perp fees. GMX allow it so you can choose like individual trading pairs. So like if you wanted to go just put money into the into the Fartcoin perp, for example, you could. But there is obviously if the pools aren't big enough, and if one trader makes a lot of money, you can get kind of screwed. So like there's obviously high fees for like Fartcoin, but if like one guy makes $1 million, like you can get, it's sometimes not that amazing. So it's something to be kind of aware of. But this feels like an extension of that, basically, that you can like own. It's like Uniswap, but for perps.
Yeah, this is like the democratization of financial markets to me, or like that's their long-term goal. And it's like user participation is rewarded because the users are the owners, and like it's all on chain. I just think it's like, yeah, I mean, there was no way to be a liquidity provider before DEXs really, and like make money off of the other side of these trades, right? You couldn't go give Binance money and like earn a percentage of fees, but it's that for all of financial markets, plus new ideas and owning an entire market yourself if you have enough money to do it.
What do you think, Kaden? Because I know you follow like public stocks a little bit more. Do you think this bubble around crypto stuff is nearing to an, like we see Circle just hit fucking 40 billion nearly, whatever it is. Like, do you think this is starting to get a bit stretched here, or do you think people are going to keep coming in?
I don't know, man. I mean, like the public markets themselves don't seem like they're going down anytime soon. Feels like crypto has been maturing and kind of entered that realm where it's kind of hard to see it like Bitcoin and stuff having a like huge down move or anything. I mean, these treasury companies seem like disasters, but I don't know what the disaster is yet. Maybe it just keeps going for a while. Like Long Island Iced Tea and shit turning into a Bitcoin company. That's the kind of vibe.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
I mean, it happened back in the day, but like it feels like that's the kind of companies doing treasury. You got Tony G spinning up treasuries for Hype and shit. Like,
who is Tony G?
Like,
I don't know the lore about Tony G. Like, is he like a really well known?
He's just some like poker player. I don't know if he's a scammer or not. Like maybe, probably, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna end well. But like, it's just like who the hell knows? I don't really care either, to be honest.
What do you think?
I think it can't end well. Like the treasury stuff. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. But MicroStrategy.
So
maybe the price of Bitcoin like goes down, and if they all fucked up their leverage, or like some of the dumber ones who use a lot of leverage, forced to sell the crypto that's on their balance sheet. Like that's obviously going to happen. The stock goes to zero, and like they're forced to sell it, right?
So he's a high stakes poker player. Was an EU MP at one point. That's pretty random. We're going to be a bit more interactive with this. So in the chat, somebody did ask, and we'll get to the circle in a minute. But with Bitcoin hitting 104K, amid global uncertainties, what key indicators is Kook watching to predict if we are still in a bull run or nearing a correction? Love your insights from NFT QT. Do you look at any
Oh, that's really cool.
You look at any technical indicators for this sort of stuff, Kook, or is it a vibe thing?
No, not really. I mean, yeah, let's see. I mean, I'll be long Bitcoin forever, I would say. Like Bitcoin's not really a trade for me.
Yeah.
And then I think the only real, like I sell calls on IBIT. Like I might do that if I think like, okay, we're not going to like gig a moon or whatever. And like, okay, hold Bitcoin in different ways, right? And I try to make some income off of it. That's the closest thing I would get to selling or shorting Bitcoin. But yeah, how do I look at this stuff? So like I said, I have like a bias to being like a long-term bull, and that would apply to like US equity, large caps, and Bitcoin. And it's because I think that these greedy fucking boomers that destroyed the world at Bretton Woods will always just print money, and that'll never end. And so as like these high quality like assets get debased, they will go up in like the worthless fiat terms that we measure them in. So, but I think if I go down from like Bitcoin and the S&P, so I always DCA the S&P and I always DCA Bitcoin, then I have to make other trades. And so, you know, I'd say my last big trade, like, or not my last big trade, but like, I'll talk about two things. Like first is Solana. And so when I'm making these kind of trades, and I'm doing this in retrospect, where now I understand how I did it and what I was looking at. Even I did before, but like now I can explain it better. I talked about this a bit, but like the coolness rotation, that's the biggest indicator to this NFT kitty guy. Like qualitative indicators in crypto are more important to me than quantitative indicators, because my major quantitative indicator is eventually they're going to print money and this shit's going to go up. But that works for Bitcoin, right? So yeah, we'll talk about Sol. What did I look at in Sol? In like fall 2023, like I messed around on Sol in 2021 in the NFT days and whatever. And then when Sol was going down to 8 in FTX, I sold most of it like 40s, 50s or somewhere like that. It went down to 8. I didn't buy the bottom. I thought maybe it was going to be gone. I don't know. I didn't care that much. And when it was on its way back up is when I realized like Sol was actually the cool asset. Like all the guys were still yet Ansem in the video with Jakey, and they're chanting in a parking lot and all this stuff. And so I'm thinking about it more. So that's the beginning of the qualitative indicator that mattered. But then it became in the fall, meme coins started to come out on Sol. And it obviously made way more sense for meme coins to trade on Sol than ETH, even though the ETH maxis wouldn't admit it. But it just all in all, like the cool stuff was happening on Sol. And so if you look at ETH, like the downfall of ETH was really when it became uncool. And it became uncool because the cool people left and did other stuff. And then only the mid-curve kind of idiots stayed. And like, to me, that's kind of the whole story. So now if you look at Sol and I bridge it into hype, like, okay, now my big trade is always Bitcoin and like blue chip stocks. And that's by DCA forever. But
just
Sol, like,
do you think the Sol KOLs are still cool? Do you think that's
no,
what's changed?
no, you have.
That's what
I mean, I would.
It's a good
I
point.
would hate to ever be called a something KOL. You know what I mean? Like they'll call me. People will have seen me from the first time here. Oh, he's a Sol KOL. He's a this KOL. Like I see that. Like they'll call me that. But I really, if you're paying attention, I'm a nothing KOL, bro. Like, and I think that the guys that are, it's the KOLs, it's the users, it's the communities, it's the builders. It's like it's always a slow exodus, and then you're left in the end. Sol will look like ETH, right? Unless they can recapture the hot thing. If Pump does their own chains, it's it for Sol, right? And so for the kitty guy, like if I was, you know, my goal in fall 2023 was I started to see the memes come out. I faded with, then I saw with do what it did, and then I'm like, okay, this is now probably going to be the theme of the cycle. And then my goal was to get as much Sol as I could and just stake it and wait. And then yeah, 2024 or 2025, you know, maybe I'm thinking it's a bit frothy and I start to sell most of it, and I kept 3/4 of it. But it's all based on qualitative indicators. Like the backdrop is the money printing and the backdrop is the Bitcoin price. But the decision on Sol, it's qualitative. And now I'm seeing the same stuff. So when hype, like, when I started to look at it closely and the sexes were attacking it, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I start looking at the communities and stuff, like, and who's building. And it's like, Jeff had this ethos of fair launch, and like, they don't talk, they just release stuff. And then you see Hyperunit. This is like massively important infrastructure. And then I look at the communities that are there, like the Hypeos, and it's like, okay, it's a Romelio derivative. But actually, like, the people are cool. Like the memes are good. Like the shit is based. Like, and it's the coolness rotation trade is the most important qualitative indicator.
It's
everything else is based on money printing.
You only really know that when you've been in crypto for a while. But if you think about Q1, which is like all the Solana KOLs got caught up in the culmination of the meme coin cycle, right? Like, if they get done with Trump, they then got done with the dregs around Libra and some of the other ones around there. Oh
man, the Congo or whatever, Central African Republic came in and rugged us, like.
Right, but the KOLs are the really ones that became uncool at that time, and then hype at that time was probably trading at what, like 15,
$4 or something. Yeah. Like it came out and it was $4 and it went up to 30 really fast, and then it kind of ground down.
So it feels like that.
What are these Solana KOLs talking about now?
Well, this Solana, the trenches. You're still seeing some clicking.
We know what they're tweeting about. We know what they're tweeting about right now. We should get to
it. I teed it up.
You teed it up. We should get to this because this is the other hot take of the week. Myself and KBM slaving for months on a crypto casino. Turns out the Rollbit boys have rolled it back and have launched an on-chain casino with all of those guys. I know you're now associated with them, Coop. We're all friends here, but what you think of it? Like, I know you've tried out our product too, but I think there's a world for both. But I'd love to hear your take on all of this stuff, and also like the approach of marketing as well.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't ask him too many questions. So I've used it, and I streamed on it. But it's right now it's pretty basic. I think it's because of the difference in approach. So the reason I even like answered them and talked to them is because I do like the non-custodial, like on-chain, thing. Like, I think that's cool. It's like, I'm not going to say the Hyperliquid of casinos because it's not that. That's crazy. If I can't be the house and then steal the guy's money with better odds, then it's not the Hyperliquid of casinos. But still, it's like a step, right? I do like that. Now, I do think like it doesn't really matter. The end user is going to use the best thing. Some of their games, like I've got a problem with the fact that they don't have the right Gates of Olympus game, and that's like the thing I played the most on YEET. Is like it's like different. It's called Gates of Zeus, and like he doesn't raise his arm, and like I just don't get as excited. I think people will ultimately just go use the best product, and obviously they're spending so much money on marketing right now. It's retarded, right? Like Kobe saying he got offered $500,000 a month. Like, come on, that makes sense. It's relevant. I didn't
Kobe. That was for.
Is there like a fight within the internal KOLs about that now? Like, it's like, why wasn't I given $500K a month? Like, I saw you
tweet him. Hanson Banks or Gainsey.
No, I don't care. I think it's funny. I just responded to Kobe and I'm like, I feel like the janitor. Any tips on like getting my pay up? But no, I mean, I haven't actually even talked to a single other KOL about it, and nobody even asked me about it until today. Like when it blew up on the timeline because of Kobe. But no, I think it's it's just they're like, oh yeah, wear the badge, we're gonna pay you this, and then I'm like, whatever. I get a lot of those messages, but I figured it was cool because of the on-chain decentralized thing. But
this is the thing. Like, I think that's a genuine thing. Like, you don't do KYC for something like this, and and those two things are links, which you mentioned. So like, the reason why they could never have Gates of Olympus is because all the providers require some level of KYC or license for this to happen. So like, if you're gonna say we're gonna do completely decentralized, no license, no KYC, you will never get those games. But you can recreate the games, which is kind of what they've done. And then so you have this like no KYC element, but then you can't have the game. And similarly for sports, for example, like no sports provider would allow that. So then you have to create like a decentralized sportsbook. What do you think about it, KBM? I know you're going back and forth on it a little bit, but
yeah, no, I don't want to like say too much, but I mean, they have low RTPs for a decentralized product. One would think. Then they clapped back and said ours aren't provable RTPs, but they are. And there's a couple other things I have up my sleeve, but I don't need to share those. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's a good product. It looks cool, but obviously I'm pretty biased.
Can it only work on Solana though? Like, are the actual trades happening on like this? Couldn't happen on Bitcoin or on ETH, or could it? I don't actually know. Is it like it's more like Sol Casino then in that sense, where it's like a Solana? Because it's all the Sol KOLs, right? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it seems like it's mostly a Solana thing, at least for right now.
You can only use Solana on it.
Yeah,
like you deposit Sol and then you like withdraw Sol. Like it's not multi-currency. That's the thing. Like from a feature perspective and like from purely the user experience, like I mean, I guess you'd use it if you wanted to avoid KYC, but it currently, like I think they have a long road ahead of themselves to build the best casino. Like if you're a user and you don't care and you don't mind KYCing, you're offered more elsewhere, you know? Like that's just how it
definitely
is.
confused on their marketing spend. That's
what do you think about that? What do you think about that in general? Like, just it feels like we just spoke about that. Like the KOLs are KOLs like at the least cool point of the cycle right now.
I mean, it might be somebody who has no fucking idea about social capital and for the target markets they're going for. Not necessarily you, but other people that you're sponsoring. It's kind of weird.
6 months ago, KOLs were cool, right? And now it feels like they're less cool.
I think it's hard. You gotta like. I mean, fuck. I'll just talk shit about every KOL. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm my own. Like, I'm in my own league, I think, but not like I'm trying to be. It just is what it is, man. Like, I just talk about what I want to talk about. I've always done it the same way. I don't have a business plan. I created this account because I got banned from Reddit and then they IP banned me. And banned 10 accounts. Yeah, dude. Like, I used to be on Wall Street Bets and I was like, I just need an outlet to talk about stuff. Like, I've always been a massive internet troll, like trolling on the internet as a secret hobby for no reason on weird message boards, like since I was a teenager. And then I went into finance and I used to like trade stocks and do this and that. And like, so I ended up on Wall Street Bets and like, I ended up getting banned and that was my biggest troll outlet. And I was also getting way more into crypto at the time. And so I just created like a CT account or I had a Twitter account because I used to use it to just follow equity stuff, but I never posted or anything. And so it was NFTs kind of drew me in and I was posting more and stuff. But the point is, there's no business plan there. I've always just talked about what I want to talk about. And so the thing about KOLs not being cool anymore, I guess like most of the people that have like most of these people have decided like I'm going to be a crypto KOL and then they figure out how they're going to do that and then they go build up an account. They're following, right? Like
that's a good point.
And so I'm just like, okay, like I think whatever's going on, I'm usually moving around. I'm sure I'm going to have a big L and embarrass myself, but I haven't really had a big L in a couple years. I've been in the right places and it's all out of interest. Like people want to read my takes on stuff and like, cool. And so with that, they get the racism too. The funniest thing is I mostly just talk about being racist without being racist. It's a bit of a psyop. And then you have, bro, this shit's an IQ test. Ask someone, what do you think about Kook on CT? And like the middle curve will be like, he's a racist and he's a scammer. And you'll be like, oh, well, what did he do that's racist? And they'll be like, oh, he's a racist. It's like the Trump thing. Oh, he's a scammer. What did he scam? Oh, he's a scammer. You know, and the smart guys and the dumb guys fucking love me. And so, but yeah, I think, dude.
Nick just automatically assumes, everyone just assumes that is a racist PFP. But even on this Israel-Iran stuff, it feels like the Nickab community feels split even on that. Like I've noticed it's strangely mixed, let's put it that way. But yeah, going on from that, like, I think it's a good point to make, is that people have now
it's like
influencers, and then they are right. I'll do that in crypto rather than like I got into crypto just by saying and just like enjoying the ethos of it, and then I became big because of my views. It's very much changed now.
Yeah, there's way more manufactured accounts that set out to be an influencer for XYZ reason. Well, no, the reason is to make money, I guess. But then you got different guys. Like, it's not just me, right? Like, and there's guys that are way better than me at just being like Ansem, right? Like, Ansem is a sick account. He gives out so much information. Like, I'm a pretty big fan, and he's got sick vibes. Like, seems like a nice guy. I never met him IRL, but like, he he replied to some tweet where some guy was like, I don't get why Hyperliquid's so valuable. And he like wrote this crazy thesis just in a reply like 2 days ago. Like, there's guys like that where it's like, you guys are both those guys too. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's why KOLs seem boring, because the KOL market got saturated with like, just, man, you didn't grow because people were seeking out your opinion on stuff and trying to listen to what you have to say and whatever. You grew because you GM 10,000 times and you hacked the Kaido algorithm and shit. Like,
yeah. Kaito, what do you think on that? Like, that's been the big change this cycle. Like, because what you're saying is true. And then there was a shift, I think, about a couple of months ago to like, right, we need people who write good content, and Kaito is going to create that. And I think at the top end of that list, you would agree that like the top of the Kaito leaderboard is some of the better accounts, but it's also it's now created this like this
I think
cesspool of accounts too. Like,
if I could draw it,
be good for certain things, but it's also like you kind of see where this is going.
Yes, exactly. You see where it's going, because it's like, it was a genius idea at first, right? Because it's almost like botting with extra steps, but like the bots are humans. And so, but when they attracted the people with big accounts and existing respected opinions, right? Like, you know, I clicked the button, I signed up, I'm on Kaido. You guys are probably on Kaido. Like, most people tried it and are on it. And so it's nice. It's like, you don't have to do anything. I logged into it once. But I guess at the beginning, where it was like, okay, they're incentivizing people to talk about their clients in like a frictionless way that's kind of hidden, and you get more points on Kaido if it's organic, that's good. But then all these guys, like I said, like the same group of people that decided like, I'm going to grow a crypto account and be a crypto KOL, now they've hacked the Kaido algorithm. And so it's a little bit more like overt, that it's like pretty heavy handed. Like, people are either Kaido farmers and they're talking about the Kaido projects, or they're just like some organic KOL that might mention stuff or might not, right? Like, I'm not farming Kaido. And so the value, like I think the top fee, like you can pay Kaido $150 a month. Like, that's what Arbitrum pays them, I think. And what you used to get is like a lot different from what you get now. And what you will get in 6 months is going to be a lot different. I think the model is kind of like going to go away. Maybe now there's 20 Kaido derivatives. Like, so I don't know that you're necessarily getting the value, because now the Kaido farming is done by all these small and mid-sized accounts, which a lot of them put out great information. Like, man, I got to shout out the GOAT Bandit XBT. He became like the king of Kaido out of nowhere, hacking the algorithm. He's a great shit poster. Like, yeah, it's like some of these guys like did it right and made it work really well. But I think the entire premise of Kaido is being cheapened over time. Like, that's just the progression of it. So I don't know if they'll be able to get people to pay them $150K a month for a campaign in 6 months.
We paid them.
Yeah.
We paid them. We didn't pay them $150K a month, but we paid them. I think even they would admit though that like they need the next stage of this is, it's weird because what you're saying is true. It's not bots, but it's people writing AI content.
It's human as bot. Yeah, it's human bots.
It's like
literally,
this weird world of
they like ChatGPT, like the fucking our information.
Yeah.
Then they just post
mixed in with good people, right? And it's like,
well, and the people reading it, it's like, if you're now, you know, on the timeline, like, oh, this guy's talking about his 50th Kaido project in the last 6 weeks. Okay. And it's cool. Like, if I'm interested, I'll read it, but it's not the same. Like, it's not going to have the same impact.
No, it just feels like bullshit, fake engagement at this point, almost a little bit.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get that.
I'm real. We got some real Kaito / users.
No, we need to do this giveaway though. By the way, it's about time.
We're about to juice up the Kaito relatively soon. So yeah.
Are we doing a giveaway?
Let's do the giveaway. We didn't actually pick winners last week, so
what do we plan?
So we have to pick 3 winners, right? So, by the way, if you are watching or listening to us on a space, I know you probably came in on the Twitter spaces, all the show now is on Kick. You can go check us out. We're DGens Live on Kick, and obviously you can also listen to us on Twitter Spaces. But you're going to be able to watch us on Kick from now on. We want to try and grow that as an audience. So go follow us. If you're a follower, you are going to be out. And the only way to win prizes is also to link your Kick account. So make sure you're following us, and that will be how you win prizes going forward. Also, you've got to sign up under the Rekt Radio affiliate code for YEET. We're probably going to do some form of like a weekly race as well going forward. So like the top people, you can go see our thing on YEET leaderboards, and we're going to give out the people who are on the top of that leaderboard each week.
Also, if you're listening, I just want to give my perspective. This is a massively bullish giveaway, the most bullish kind, because when there's a couple things to do, couple hoops to jump through, most people won't do it. So your competition is low. You have a higher chance of winning. Do the stuff.
Bro, $5,000 a week. That's
yeah,
a lot of money.
250 grand we're going to be giving out a year if this show continues. I think you could. I mean, it's only 200 people are following us on Kick right now, so it's a pretty good odds. Anyway, so are we picking them? Intern, are you or Sims actually is taking over for this? So the code word was Rekt. We are picking 3 winners
out of 59 people. Damn,
1,500.
Good odds.
59 eligible entries. So 59 people.
Nova?
Oh, Nova.
Are they coming up on stage, Sims, or we just speaking to them in the chat? I think we can probably spin for them in the chat, or do we want to have them up on stage as well?
Is Nova in the chat?
They should have been watching to enter the code and get in the code, so they're probably inside chat. If you have a look, I can put the comments back on screen. You can see their name there, Brownie Nova.
Yeah, I think we'll just spin for them, or we'll do
how many spins do you want?
2 more, so we'll do 2.
2 more? Okay, let me just make note of this user. Make sure we don't lose it.
And what do you want to do?
Nova.
Plinko or Lamb Chop or Risky Click today, KVM?
I mean, I think you have to do Lamb Chop. It's Lamb Chop promo week, you know?
Of course, it's Lamb Chop promo week.
It is Lamb Chop promo week. That's loud background music. Blowing out my ears.
And one more. All right, and then after this, we will go up. So how do we want to do this? I think we keep 500 in the bank for all of you. So we'll do $1,000 lamb chop. We'll do $1,000 lamb chop runs on easy, and maybe each one of us will decide when to stop each time. So who are we doing it for first? Who was the first one we're doing it for?
Brownie Nova. Let me remove this.
Sims, do you have those names or?
Can you hear me still? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can hear now. We can hear now.
Yeah. Sorry, Brownie Nova was the first one.
Brownie Nova. So who is it? Intern running it, or are you running it on?
It's not me.
Ooh, interesting.
I mean, if I have a login, I can get it running.
Yeah, when you get it running.
Yeah, a second. Anyway, in the meantime, are the users here?
Well, I think we're just going to run for them. I think it's easier.
Okay.
At least this time, because they're actually in the Kick chat. So I think this time we're just going to have them, because we didn't have them we didn't have them chosen from last week. So we're just going to try it that we run for each person, and then we'll give out the prize at the end.
Okay.
Or do we just have these guys for the winners next week if we're not organized around it? We could just have these guys for the winners.
No, I'm getting in now. We're good to go. I'm about to fire it.
Okay, nice. Okay, so $1,000 lamb chop spins. You had 56 entries. So Jesus Christ, we've got to get this affiliate link going if we're going to give out 250 grand in prizes.
Yeah, what the hell?
Make sure you sign up for us under that. I kind of feel like this kick account might cook. Like we've already got 200 followers. This is like the third show we've done.
Is my screen being prevented? I need the host to present their screen.
There we go. All right.
There you go. All right, we're doing lamb chop.
Let's go.
Okay. So should I do the first one? I'll do the first one, and I'll say when to stop.
What is it? 500 a spin?
1,000. Let's do 1,000.
What? 1,000
lamb
lamb
chop. How
chop.
many does each get?
One spin because you get 500 in the bank. You got 500 in the bank, right?
And that's just one spin?
One spin. One spin.
All
each
right,
time.
Mando, go.
Okay, go. 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 Go.
Oh.
What do we think, kid?
It's for the giveaway winner, right?
Yeah.
Just drive.
You've already got 500 in the bank, right? So go. Go. I think we're going to keep going for this, right? Go.
Why don't, to be fair to all the win, so no one's like weird. Why don't you try and get across the train tracks for all of them? And if you do, cash them out with train tracks.
I think we're vibing.
Drive what you want to drive.
No, I'm going to play it safe for the first one because it's a nice little win. We'll cash out here.
Okay.
You win $2,100. I think that was pretty nice, right?
You had died crossing the train track.
Dude, that's sick. Is that Brownie Nova?
So Brownie Nova just won just over $2,000, right?
Sick.
How are you not signed up? Signed up here.
Well, the second person. Who's the second account?
Go follow Kook as well as our new guest co-host. A lot of base.
Yeah.
Second one was Kalikos.
Kaliko, I'm driving for Kaliko. You picked the winner, buddy, because I drive fucking fast and hard and aggressive. So get ready.
Here we go.
You're either gonna make a lot or you're going home with $500.
Okay.
Oh, kick him.
Oh, what are we thinking here?
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Bro.
If you draw KBM as the second winner,
$2,500. Oh my goodness!
if you draw me as the second person, you're getting high ball.
It's okay. He still wins $500. You know what you're getting with KBM. All right, high variance. Let's see what you're getting with Cook.
Okay, who's the person? What's the name?
It is Dim Priest.
Dim Priest. Make sure you're following Cook because he's
Dim Priest. All right, Impriest, I don't know your deal, but I'm going to assume you're conservative when I play this. So I'm going to take the money early, but I'm still going to jump a couple times.
Okay. What do you want?
Okay, let's go. Go one. Okay, go again. Okay, one more.
Oh, no.
I was going to cut it off. I was literally going to do 3 and done. Impriest, I'm sorry.
I think that was
man.
that was a great one. I love it.
Let's go. This shit is so exciting.
All right,
I made it to the casino a few times. Casino on $1,000 spin would be crazy.
Mando hooked the guy up.
Everyone's a winner. Losers, you still got $500. Someone won $2,000. It's a great giveaway. So make sure you're following us. Make sure I'm your guy for Lamb Talk going forward. OSF is going to be back next week. Eating tacos in the background while us read. Luke, great first show. Really loved having you on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
and go follow everyone. KBM obviously on X, Cook on X. And we'll see you next week, guys.
All right. See you.